What if your breaking point was never meant to break you, but to break your illusion? You're not crying. You're not shouting. You're just staring at her last message, at the way she said goodbye without ever using the word, at the cold clarity of a woman who once looked at you like you were her world and now looks past you like your furniture in a room she no longer lives in. She didn't break you loudly. She broke you silently by simply not choosing you. And that's what cuts the deepest, not the loss itself, but that haunting question left in its place. Why not me? You gave her your calm, your patience, your time, and still she chose chaos. She chose someone else. And now you sit with this unbearable equation. If I wasn't chosen, then maybe I wasn't enough. But stop. Think. What if the flaw isn't in her choice, but in your belief that being chosen defines your value? Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. And here's your hook. She didn't choose you. Good. Because that means you are finally free from needing to be chosen. Now ask yourself, why do you still seek validation in someone else's decision? Why does love feel like a reward and rejection like punishment? Why do you chase what should never be begged for? This isn't about getting her back. This is about getting yourself back. And maybe, just maybe, the pain you feel is not the ending of something beautiful, but the beginning of something unshakable. Let's begin. You think the pain began when she didn't choose you, but the truth, it started long before that. It began the first time. You believed your worth must be earned, when love became a currency, and you started measuring yourself by someone else's acceptance. No one says it directly, but the world teaches it early. Be good, and they'll love you. Be strong, and they'll stay. Be what they want, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be chosen. But this is not love. This is performance, and performance breeds dependency. The hidden problem isn't her decision. It's your need for it to validate you. You didn't want love. You wanted confirmation, proof that you were enough, that the storm within you had finally been calmed by someone else's yes. But here's what the Stoics knew and what you were never taught. It is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. You think her leaving hurt you. But what actually hurts is what you made her leaving mean, that you're unworthy, that you failed, that someone better replaced you, that you are no longer enough, or worse, never were. But none of that is real. It's all interpretation, and interpretation is within your control. She didn't choose you. That's a fact. You interpreted it as personal failure. That's a story, and stories can be rewritten. The psychological trap here is called external validation, the need to see yourself through someone else's eyes, and when those eyes look away, you disappear with them. Modern psychology calls it the external locus of control. The idea that your happiness, your peace, your self-worth are governed by forces beyond your reach, their opinions, their decisions, their presence. But Stoicism confronts this directly. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. You can't control if she loves you. You can't control if she stays. You can't even control what she saw or didn't see in you. But you can control what you make it mean and what you choose to become because of it. Here's what most men don't realize. The pain you feel isn't from being left. It's from what you tied to being chosen. You made her love the gateway to your peace. You made her yes, the key to your calm. You believed that her choosing you would silence the voice inside that's been doubting you for years. But it won't. It never would have. Because peace that depends on another isn't peace. It's a drug. And she was just the dealer. The Stoics warned of this. They didn't fear pain. They feared enslavement. And when your emotions, your identity, your stability are all chained to whether someone stays or leaves, you're not in love. You're in prison. You can love someone, you can even grieve them, but the moment you need them to feel whole, you've already surrendered your power. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." So be brave enough to no longer beg the world for permission to feel worthy. Be brave enough to see that this wasn't rejection, it was revelation. Revelation that the story you've been living was never yours. It was built on the belief that value must be earned through others. That being enough is something someone else grants you. That to be loved, you must be picked. But the Stoic doesn't wait to be picked. He chooses. He lives in accordance with nature, not with opinions. And nature says this: people will come and go. They will love. They will leave. They will misunderstand you. They will outgrow you. They will disappear. But your reason, your virtue, your character, those are yours. Always. So what's the real problem? Not that she left. Not that she didn't choose you, but that you gave her the power to decide something she was never qualified to define: your worth. And until you reclaim that, you'll keep bleeding from wounds inflicted by someone else's silence. But once you reclaim it, once you draw the line, once you stop outsourcing your identity, you begin to build something the world can't shake. A self, unmoved, untouched, unbreakable. You thought her leaving just hurt, but it did something far more dangerous. It rewired you, not your mind, but the way you see love, the way you see women, the way you see yourself, and you didn't even notice. Now every silence feels like abandonment. Every delay in a reply becomes a rejection. Every new connection carries the weight of proving you're finally good enough. You don't fall in love. You try to earn safety. You don't connect. You perform. You don't open. You scan for signs that it's all about to end again. You begin to shape yourself, not by who you are, but by who you think someone else might stay for. And that's how men disappear. Not all at once, but slowly, quietly, under the weight of wounds they never admitted they carried, because no one told them. That rejection left unexamined doesn't just hurt, it reshapes you. It makes you defensive where you used to be open, controlling where you used to be calm, silent where you used to speak with depth. You start guarding your peace so hard that you forget how to feel anything at all. And the most tragic part? You pass that on to the next woman, to the next relationship, to the next version of yourself, still waiting to be chosen by someone else, instead of finally choosing peace within. But this isn't the end. It's the moment you finally see just how much power you gave away and what you must now reclaim. Rebellion doesn't start with rage. It doesn't start with words. It begins in silence, but not the silence she left behind. This one is chosen, directed, sharp. It's the moment you stop asking, "Why didn't she choose me?" and start asking, "Why did I give her the power to decide my peace?" That's where Stoicism begins. Not in feeling nothing, but in being ruled by nothing. The world tells you to fight for her, prove yourself, chase her, bleed for the validation you were never supposed to need. But the Stoic, he doesn't chase, he doesn't perform, he reclaims, he returns to the one fortress no one can take from him, his mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think or do, only what you do." So start there. Rebellion means sitting in the quiet and not running. It means journaling the thoughts you usually avoid. It means choosing self-command over self-pity. You let go, not because she didn't matter, but because your freedom matters more. You stop trying to be chosen and start choosing the man you want to become. Not in theory, in action, in practice, in discipline. Because you don't rise from heartbreak by waiting for healing. You rise by becoming someone who doesn't need what once broke him. That is rebellion. Here it is. The truth you couldn't see when you were still waiting to be chosen because you were too busy grieving what was lost to recognize what was given. She didn't choose you, and that's not the tragedy, that's the gift. Because in her absence, you were returned to yourself. And now in that stillness, something ancient begins to rise, something older than your wounds, stronger than your fear, wiser than your need to be validated. You see it clearly now. She was never the reward. She was the Lord. She was the lesson, the mirror, the fire sent to burn away the illusion that love must come from outside for you to feel whole inside. You thought being chosen would complete you, but completeness was never hers to offer. It was always yours to remember. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." And this is that strength: to walk forward without resentment, to love again without fear, to no longer beg the world for pieces of peace, because you now carry the whole thing within. You don't perform, you don't chase, you don't ask. You are, and the man who knows this, he cannot be broken because nothing outside him was ever allowed to define him. You finally stopped needing to be chosen because you finally chosen yourself.